What happens when one of the world's most respected journalists sits across from one of its most controversial royals? An interview meant for quiet reflection turns into a confrontation no one saw coming. It began like any other exclusive sit-down, a cozy living room set, 2 chairs, beige walls, and a pot of tea resting between them. Everything about it whispered comfort. But comfort doesn't always survive the truth. Diane Sawyer opened with warmth. "It's been quite a journey for you, Harry," she said. "Life in California away from royal duties, and how are you adjusting?" Harry smiled. "I'm doing fine, Diane. Better than most in my position. I don't have to answer to anyone anymore." The smile didn't reach his eyes, and Diane noticed. She pressed gently. "Do you ever miss the structure of royal life?" Harry's response cut through the calm. "Structure? You mean the cage?" That was the first crack in the polite facade, the moment the room began to shift. Diane tried to steer the conversation toward purpose, legacy, and duty. But when she mentioned Harry's mother, Princess Diana, the air froze. "My mother's legacy," Harry said, "has nothing to do with royal tradition. That system destroyed her." Even Diane paused. She knew she had touched a nerve. When she softly added, "She meant a great deal to all of us." Harry laughed, short and bitter. "To you, maybe. But you didn't live with the cameras outside your window." The tension thickened, not with anger, but with the ache of memory. As the minutes passed, Diane kept her composure, trying to understand the man behind the rebellion. But every gentle question seemed to hit a tripwire. When she asked about how fame shaped his life with Meghan and their children, Harry shot back. "People should stop being curious about things that don't concern them." The producers behind the cameras shifted uncomfortably. Even the lights seemed to hum louder. Diane apologized if her question felt intrusive. Harry's response came sharp. "Privacy means not talking about it on national television, doesn't it?" The warmth that had filled the room was gone. What remained was a duel, not of anger, but of ideology. When Diane brought up the monarchy, asking whether he believed it could change, Harry's tone turned philosophical. "Institutions don't change," he said. "They molt. They shed skin to look new. But the bones stay the same." Diane countered. "But surely you benefited from that structure." Harry leaned in. "People confuse scaffolding with the building. I tore it down so I could see the sky." It was poetic, maybe rehearsed, but undeniably powerful. Still, Diane pressed on, asking about hope, reconciliation, and family. "Hope," Harry said, "is what people ask about when they're afraid of silence." Silence, calm, the kind that fills a room right before something breaks, settled in. Diane's questions grew gentler, but Harry's defenses sharper. When she asked about his mother again, with care, almost reverence, his patience snapped. "My mother isn't a rhetorical device," he said. "She's not a lantern you can wave to light your questions." Diane didn't flinch. "Do you feel you honor her best by speaking out or by finding peace?" Harry's answer chilled the room. "I'm done paying interest on grief other people borrowed." Behind the cameras, someone exhaled softly. The interview had stopped being about information. It had become a mirror reflecting pain that no script could contain. When they returned from the commercial break, the energy had changed completely. Diane's tone was cooler now. Harry's posture unbothered, confident, maybe too confident. She asked carefully, "Would your mother have wanted reconciliation?" Harry's eyes hardened. "Don't talk to me about what my mother would have wanted." The crew froze. The line was clear. Diane's response came quiet and steady. "It's not gossip to ask if you regret how public your disputes have become." Harry replied, "My truths. And if people can't handle them, that's not my problem." Grace met defiance. "Truth can coexist with grace," Diane said softly. Harry's reply was a blade. "Grace didn't save my mother." At this point, every exchange felt like walking through glass. Diane tried one last time to reach the human beneath the fortress. "Do you ever worry that your certainty makes it harder for people to hear you?" Harry didn't miss a beat. "When a man sets a boundary, it's leadership. When I do it, it's contempt. Convenient, isn't it?" Diane met his stare. "There's a difference between clarity and condescension," she said. "Your message matters. I'm asking if you want it to land." Harry leaned forward. I want to stop answering questions that act like mirrors and pretend to be windows. That line, haunting and metaphorical, marked the end. Diane asked one final question. Years from now, will we see a man building or a man burning? Harry's answer, both. Some structures deserve flames. Some foundations deserve a future. When the cameras cut, the room felt colder. The tea had gone untouched. The smiles had evaporated. Diane Sawyer sat back, calm, poised, but visibly disappointed. Harry stared past the lights, his expression unreadable. They would finish the interview, but something irreversible had already happened. It wasn't just an interview anymore, when it was an unmasking. The royal rebel and the veteran journalist had met in a room built for truth, and left with something much heavier. Because sometimes when truth finally speaks, it doesn't set you free. It sets everything on fire.